Today we're touching on a topic that's difficult for many families, infant death.
Madison native Lindsey Henke is here with us today to talk about her own experience and how she's now helping other families who've experienced loss. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I know this is not a difficult, this is a difficult topic for so many families. You lost your first child.
Yeah,
so can you talk about your experience?
Sure. I was pregnant with Nora in 2012, and after an uneventful pregnancy at 40 weeks, unfortunately, my husband and I went to labor and delivery expecting to go into labor and meet our baby girl, and we were told those horrible words that parents don't want to hear, which is, "I'm sorry, there's no heartbeat."
You've turned your grief into action. You helped form the nonprofit and app Pregnancy After Loss Support, also known as PALS. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. PALS, Pregnancy After Loss Support, known as PALS, is a great organization that I founded when I realized that going through a subsequent pregnancy while you're grieving the death of a baby is a very challenging experience of holding both grief and joy, hope and fear. So I started writing after the loss of Nora, and I'm a psychotherapist who specializes in maternal mental health. But writing is really what I turned to, and in the writing community, I found others who were turning to writing as well, and we decided we wanted a space for those who are going through loss after a pregnancy to experience, to share their experience. So that's what Pregnancy After Loss Support is. And then along the ways, over the years, the 10 years that PALS has been in existence, it'll be 10 years in June, since my daughter, it was formed after my daughter Zoe was born successfully and here in our arms, and brought back some hope and joy into our lives. People wanted an app to validate their own experience of going through the difficult journey of pregnancy after loss. So the app is free, and you can get it on Apple and Google, and it provides you with kind of like week by week updates, but that are unique to the emotional experience of pregnancy after loss.
It's so important for so many families to be able to have this resource. You also released a memoir called When Skies Are Gray, A Grieving Mother's Lullaby.
Yeah.
Which we have here.
It's right here.
What's your goal for this book?
Really, it's again to validate people's experience, other bereaved parents' experience of going through loss and knowing that they're still parents, even if they don't have their baby here in their arms to hold.
I think it's so important for to hear shared stories and shared experiences, and to kind of have that support and those resources. And you know, it's not easy to share a story like that, but to have people to reach out to and to be able to have it maybe on your bedside and read it and say, other people have been through this too. I think that's important.
It's really important, and I think as I was a young therapist at the time too, and I felt like I was kind of lost in my grief, so the hope with the book is to say, even with all the skills and coping skills to get through grief after losing a baby, I didn't know what to do. So it's nice to see your experience through the professional and personal lens that somebody else has been there, and to validate that you're not going crazy, it really is this hard.
And it must have been so difficult too to want to get pregnant again and to go through that experience, and you must have been terrified throughout your pregnancy.
Yeah, I say pregnancy after loss is like the definition of insanity. You're doing the exact same thing but expecting a different result. And it is hard because you have to go through a whole 9 months of like hoping and wishing that your baby gets here healthy and alive this time after the trauma of what you experienced before. So that's why Pregnancy After Loss Support came about, and the app has been downloaded over 30,000 times in the last 2 years since we launched, and we hope to continue to support people who are going through their subsequent pregnancies.
Well, thank you so much for all you do. It's so important for so many families.
Yeah, and thank you for having me.
Yes.